Hey all, welcome back. John Francis Restoration. Yeah, it's probably been maybe even 2 years since I've done a video, but I'm gonna start picking it back up again. Doing some furniture restoration here in the garage. Decided I wanted to show you this table. We've been kind of focusing on our YouTube channel, First Time RVers, doing a lot of camping and that kind of stuff. Check that out if you'd like to see that. But let me show you this table here that we're working on and why I'm using a belt sander. Turn the fan off so I don't have to yell. Let me show you real quick what this table is and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Belt sanding is not usually the way to go to refinish furniture, but let me show you why I had to do that. Basically what we have here is our client's existing old table under here. Here's the leaf in there. They locked the leaf in. They had someone build them this top to go on top of their existing table. So our client contacted us. This is her dining room table, but she also used it to do like arts and crafts. And she got some spots on it. She was hoping I could touch it up. I had to explain to her why that wasn't an option with this table. She's using epoxies and glues, and she got it on the table here. You can see. I'm not going to claim to be a professional furniture builder, but neither were these people. The way they built this was they basically took like regular pine 1x6s from your local hardware store and they built this table. Why isn't that good? Because first and most importantly, most of that wood at hardware stores is not made for furniture. It's not made to be finished to look like a high-end piece of furniture. It's made for construction. Let me show you what happened here and why I'm using this belt sander. So these boards have shrunk and there are gaps. Now they did glue the boards together. I can see that here because along this gap you can see where it actually ripped the board apart as it shrunk. Again, here's another area. I didn't want to use finish remover to get this finish off and then have it get all in those cracks and stay in there. And if you look, you can see high and low spots here. A lot of high and low spots. Because these being low quality boards, they're shrinking, they're warping, they're cupping. So this thing is not level. A lot of the joints aren't level, the boards themselves aren't level. So that's why I'm using the belt sander. So once I get this finish off, which is going to take me a little while, and probably another belt for my belt sander, I'm gonna probably use some glue mixed with sawdust or something to fill these areas, because not only do I want them to look nicer, but I also want to kind of try to keep them together. If I put wood filler in there, my guess would be it might chip back out. So let's get this whole table sanded and then we'll go from there. Let me show you one other thing before I get back to sanding. They used a water-based finish, and I'm okay with water-based finishes. I don't necessarily use them myself, but they work fine. The big thing here is they brushed it on. I do not like brushed on finishes. I'm a spray kind of guy. Tops are, you know, a little easier to brush, but when it comes to any other piece of furniture, you're gonna get runs, you're gonna get high spots. It just doesn't leave a good finish. Hopefully this will show up on camera, but this is what the finish looked like. Now, if you look at the light right here, you're gonna see kind of bumps and brush strokes. Also, my guess would be, since I know they got this wood from just a hardware store, they probably just used a Minwax polyacrylic. I've seen it before, that's my guess. And again, it's a fine finish for do-it-yourselfers. It's not what I would use. All right, let's get this puppy sanded. Here we are 3 days later. And no, I haven't been working on this for 3 days. I ended up busting my last sanding belt here and I had to get some new ones. Got a new 3-pack. We'll get these loaded in, get this bad boy finished here. Oh, all right. All right, there we go. Look at that. Belt sanding is done. I'm gonna have to do a lot of sanding with the palm sander, get rid of these scratches, kind of finish up some of the areas that still need removal. I'm gonna give it a first finish sanding. Then I'm gonna fill all these areas, which is gonna take a while. Let that dry. Finish the finish sanding, and then we'll get some stain on it. So if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment. All that is free of charge and doesn't take but a minute or two, and you really will help us grow this channel. Look at that. Looks like the table's got pinstriping. There's so much filler. We'll let this dry for about an hour. I think I got a chair over here I can fix. And then we'll come back, sand it, fill it one more time. Lunch is over. All the filler's dry. I don't know if you can see the wet spots. Please forgive me, I missed my mouth with water. Let me talk to you real quick about sandpaper. I'll get sandpaper wherever I can find it. Home Depot, Lowe's, a place called Klingspor, which is a woodworking shop. My suggestion is, let's turn them over. It's easier to tell from this end. Pay for the better stuff. It's not that much more, and it's probably 5 or 10 times better. It's gonna last you so much longer. This stuff just does not last that long. This is 150 grit, 220 grit. I'm gonna start with the 150. The only reason I ended up with this stuff was they didn't have the upgraded Pro Series. Pro Grade Precision is what this is called. Basically the same thing whether you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any other place like that. Just pay for the upgrade. It's well worth it, I promise you. All right, let's get sanding. Put the fan on here. So I have glass legs, Well, sanding is done. I do have 2 spots over there where I put a little more filler in. So I'll wait for those to dry and then I'll get those sanded and we'll be ready for stain. It's finally staining time. When we picked the table up, our client mentioned that it was special walnut color. So that's what we're going to use to match it to the original finish. Actually, the original color. We're going to change the finish. An old t-shirt rag. I'm a cheapskate, so if I can rip up an old t-shirt instead of buying rags, that's what I'm going to do. Let's take a look at it real quick. We're going to let this dry overnight and spray the finish tomorrow. Here we are. These are some of the areas that had to be filled that were pretty bad. Looks great now. And it'll look even better with the finish put on it, so stay tuned for that. Good morning. It's the next day. The top is completely dry and ready for its new finish. After looking at it this morning, it has lightened up some. Of course, when we put a finish on, it will darken just a little bit, but I think it's a little too light. So I'm gonna put some dye in my lacquer and at least give it one coat of some, what I call shade, which is just gonna be a colored lacquer. So let's get this cleaned off, turn on the fan, put on some protection, and get the first coat of lacquer on this thing. This is that same area that I showed in the video earlier. It's the next day. I gave this, I don't even remember now, 3 or 4 coats yesterday, and then I went on to doing some other things. So I'm gonna decide I'm gonna go ahead and give it one more coat. I got some 400 wet dry paper here. I'm gonna give it light sanding and then one more coat of lacquer, and we'll see how the client likes it. There it is, finished and ready to deliver. It turned out great. Let's take a look. There it is. Refinishing of this custom tabletop is finished. We'll get it back to the client. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, comment. That all helps out the channel. Check out First Time RVers, where we do all kind of camping videos and things like that. And hopefully we'll see you pretty soon, not like last time when it's been probably a good year and a half since our last video. Alrighty, man. Bye-bye. Thank you.